What do you do if you live around Wolverhampton and you have family visiting from abroad? Where do you take them? Are there a lot of things to see around in this area? Yes, there are, and one of these is David Austin Rose's Gardens. Such a great place to see, particularly because it is so English and local. I am Catalina George, Romanian writer and journalist in the UK, and I will take my family around today who are visiting to see some of the beautiful places around Wolverhampton. So it really is all about stopping and smelling the roses here in the David Austin Gardens, because just as soon as you arrive here you are completely dazed with all the scents that you feel in the air, and so many of these are so perfumed. It's just beautiful. Adrian's father, who lived in this area for decades now, and he even used to work at Cosford RAF base here nearby David Austin Roses, he says that he remembers David Austin since it was just a shed here. So basically the gardens weren't even here a long time ago. And what's really amazing about the history of David Austin and his roses is that he started from very little and he developed all of these different varieties of roses, the ones that are modern and we all know, but also the English roses, which were very popular back in Victorian times, and they are a lot more simple. You find them in a lot of the imagery associated throughout history, from the Tudors and so on. They don't have so many layers, and I will find some to show you. And yes, we also bought some roses from here for our garden as well, as you will see later in this vlog. Lady of Shalott, this rose is one of the varieties that we really loved for their colors, although this is not a scented one. And we do love the scented ones, but this is one of our favorite ones for the colors. Cocktail-like, beautiful and joyful. This is one of the old traditional style roses that I said you will find in all the Tudor and Victorian imagery that David Austin kind of brought back, because at the time that he was developing his roses, of course we had all the contemporary ones, and he kind of brought back into the mainstream. This Adrian, my partner, told me, because he knows a little bit and likes to research about them, is closer to the wild roses that just used to grow before people even got an interest into cultivating them and having gardens of roses and roses and roses. Here at the back of the garden on an alley we found these roses, which I understand are some of the very, very old ancient ones that they used to grow even in Roman times. Then here in England they have been very popular around Victorian times, the type of roses that I showed you a little bit earlier, but later on they kind of fell into disgrace, or people just forgot about them. They weren't all so fond about roses any longer, until like mid 20th century, when not only David Austin but gardeners across the UK and England started to bring roses back into the mainstream. But David Austin himself in the 60s and 70s, he's put a lot of effort into developing and bringing roses back. But they also used these very ancient ones because they are very sturdy. So what they do, they use the ancient roses roots, and on top of those they grow the new modern contemporary delicate beautiful colors and beautiful scents ones, so that at the same time they will have strong roses and really delicate and beautifully looking. That's quite an interesting fact, I find. It started raining, but never mind. I want to quickly introduce you to my assistant for the day, who is my foster brother Gabby. He's been helping me to record all of the shooting that I've done around here in the gardens, and he's been doing a great job. Thank you, Gabby. I will hire you.
There's a secret to reveal though, isn't there?
There is a secret to reveal though. As you could see, I am tiny compared to my foster brother Gabby, who is only 16. The great British weather has chased everybody out of the roses gardens, and everybody was just clustering in the tea rooms there, which were like overcrowded, and of course lots of options were gone, so we had to drive off and go to one of our favorite tea rooms around here in Wolverhampton, which is the vanilla tea rooms. But we've never traveled with two Roses in the car before. That's Rosie in the back, and just here between me and Adrian, it's our replacement Lady of Shalott from David Austin, because we bought one and it didn't do very well, so they just gave us this beauty now. And yes, we want some lunch to just fight the great British weather away.
Bon appetit, takil, and enjoy.
English rose garden, English tea room and British weather. What else do we need to make the package complete for visitors from abroad? I think, in my opinion, and maybe my personal preference, a National Trust property. One of the old mansions that will portray English history, but also English way of life over the centuries, and as well some sayings that today are used, very widely used in contemporary English, but they have their roots back in like the 15th, 16th, 17th century. This is what you will learn a lot about if you visit Moseley Old Hall, the residence where Charles II, as the Catholic king who was running away from the parliamentary forces, the armies searching for him all over the place, he was saved here, he was hidden and sheltered at Moseley Old Hall. If you visit here, you will find the big hole in the floor just by the main bedroom where the king used to sleep. But if the armies were here looking for him, they would hide him in this like stone carved hole under the floor, which they would cover with a big stone slab, on top of which they would place the overnight pee spot, because all of that stench, which you can imagine, kept the dogs away. They couldn't smell that somebody was hidden under there. This story you will learn about if you visit here, and as always, the National Trust volunteers and staff, they are very happy to tell you all of these very funny or interesting or sometimes dramatic facts, such as we learned about words such as chairman and why we use today in English the chairman of the board, because the board was the rectangular top of the table, and the chairman was obviously the person who sat in the most important spot at the top of the table, and his chair was a properly carved one. Now, when my father visited about 3 months ago, I went with him to Whittick Manor, and today I brought my foster brother Gabby and my mum to visit Moseley Old Hall with all of its 16th, 15th century historical facts and really interesting stories. Guess what? Yesterday, as the rain was returning to Moseley Old Hall, I just forgot to record an end to this vlog. But never mind, today I wrapped up the English experience for my foster brother and my mum with a Sunday roast carvery, and I'm also going to wrap up this vlog. I'm going to take you around Wolverhampton and Birmingham and Wales and Shrewsbury and a lot of other very nice places to visit in the area in the future. Subscribe to the channel, and until next time, ciao for now!